I'd like to introduce two guys now who I class not only as good friends, but in a class of their own when it comes to music. You've heard the expression, what price fame? Ladies and gentlemen, meet Georgie Fame and Alan Price.
There was a girl called Mary Ann. Mary Ann was all the world to me. We planned to get married. We set the date, ready it was to be. I went up to a house one night, and out there on the front porch they sat. And I swore they'd never get away with that. Little Joe took Mary Ann up to the dance hall one night. They didn't know that I was standing back there in the shadows out of sight. They sat down at a table and she smiled as she gave her hand to Pat. And I swore they'd never get away with that. I swore they'd never get away with breaking my heart. I knew that there was just one way to keep them apart. Everybody says his mother told him not to take his guns to town. Should have listened to her. Now she knew I was gonna shoot him down. I'll be home tomorrow just because I had to kill that little rat. And I swore they'd never get away with that.
I didn't sleep at all well last night. I had this terrible recurrent nightmare that Raquel Welch and the wife were fighting over me. The wife won. I woke up, I lay there, I looked round the bedroom at the rotting floorboards, the fly-spattered 40-watt naked bulb, the peeling wallpaper and the sack thrust at the broken window, and I thought to myself, by God, you've done well for yourself, Les. The wife was downstairs getting ready for work. I could hear her doing short practice leaps with the harpoon. My little lad came and he said, read me a horror story, Dad, so I gave him the rent book. I got up, I put my smoking jacket on. By the time I got downstairs, it was on fire. I wasn't bothered, it'll do as a blazer. Just then there was a knock at the door. I knew it wasn't the wife's mother because the budgie was still whistling. I opened the door, there was a little fella stood there. He said, good morning, I'm from the town hall, I'm Irish. I said, oh really? He said, no, O'Donovan. He had all war medals on his chest. I said, have you been on the front? He said, yes. He said, I couldn't get the answer, so I came around the back. He said, I believe you got dry rot. I said, no, it's the way the wife irons my shirts. I said, this house is condemned, it's got to come down. I said, what are you building? He said, slums. Because I knew the wife's never enjoyed that house. To me it was happiness, but she never liked it. When we first got married, she said, I'm not used to living like this. When I was a girl, she said, I lived in a pseudo-Gothic manor house with stucco overtones and a rare hint of Georgian in the staircase. There was an oak-panelled library which led down to a great hall in which marble busts were superimposed. Heraldic stone beasts were at the doorway of the oak portals, gazing in contemplation on the contemporary scene, down to a line of beech elms near the croquet lawns. I said, what happened? She said, it fell down. You see, what sort of an age do we live in? I've been married now for 14 years. I can't believe it's that long. For the life of me, I don't remember breaking 2 mirrors. As you know, Leeds is in the centre of England, and no matter if you go north, south, east or west, the nearest shore is some 70 miles away. I went out and asked people in Leeds if they could direct me to the beach. And unbeknownst to them, we also filmed it.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the beach is?
The beach?
The beach.
Yes. It's about